a rare genetic disorder that can impact the body in ways both visible and unseen. While about 1 in 5,000 people have the gene, which can be passed down to their children, many don't even know they carry it. And for some, it can be life-threatening.
Try to swing it more flat.
Karlie Anderson remembers when she first noticed the early warning signs in her baby boy, Parker.
So he was about 6 months old. We woke up in the middle of the night one night and he was struggling to breathe and his chest was like super caved in. From there, I mean, it's been his whole life.
A years-long search for answers led doctors to test for Marfan syndrome, a disorder that affects connective tissue and can damage the skeleton, eyes, blood vessels, and heart. About 3 in 4 people with Marfan syndrome inherit it.
He's very special to me.
Many people with Marfan syndrome are tall and thin, with unusually long arms, legs, and fingers, like Parker's father, Evan.
Ready?
Yeah.
And while searching for answers about their son's condition, Parker's parents made a startling discovery. Despite living 30 years of his life with no noticeable symptoms of the disorder, both Parker and his father were positive for Marfan syndrome.
How do you explain the feeling of that light bulb moment?
Yeah, it's kind of surreal. Growing up, I was so healthy, and then all of a sudden realized that, I have major issues.
Evan's long limbs were always an advantage on the basketball court, allowing him to play Division I college basketball at the University of Wisconsin. Now, he knew the dangerous condition impacting his son's body was also ravaging his, and his life was at risk. A CT scan showed that Marfan syndrome was weakening Evan's aorta, causing it to expand like a balloon. He needed surgery fast before a catastrophic outcome and possible death. Lucky for Evan, at the Rochester, Minnesota Mayo Clinic, just 2 hours from the family's home in rural Wisconsin, was Dr. Malik Shrestha, one of only a handful of surgeons in the world with extensive experience in the aortic root repair he needed.
He was very lucky, I have to say, because a lot of these patients do not have any symptoms because the aorta starts getting bigger, but that doesn't cause any problems until it's burst. Then it's too late.
It wasn't until after the surgery that the Andersons understood how close they'd come to losing Evan.
He told us I probably had around 2 months left.
To be 2 months away from losing, my best friend, it's crazy.
An intervention that might never have happened if not for Parker.
Do you feel like your son saved your life?
He definitely did.
As for Parker, doctors check his heart regularly, and so far, it looks just fine. But he's had to learn to live life at a slower pace.
He did a basketball camp. He loved it. I'm sorry, bud, you can't do that anymore.
One of the biggest things that kind of hit me hard was the fact that I won't be able to teach him, coach him certain things through sports. I feel like I'll have to try to teach him through a different route. What fish do you catch on this one, buddy?
Bass.
Parker is taking on new hobbies like fishing with his dad and hero by his side.
Seeing him smile and enjoy life, it definitely always touches my heart every time I see him have a good time.
A father's heart now healthy and full with every day spent with his family.
Now, this surgery has a very high success rate. That is when the patient is operated on in time by one of the few doctors who can perform it. The Andersons stressed how lucky they were to live within 2 hours of one of those highly qualified surgeons. The proximity, guys, it might have made all the difference for him.
Kaylee, how did the doctors even know to test Evan when he didn't have any health problems?
Yeah, so like I said, he'd lived so much of his life thinking he was healthy, but he did have these telltale signs of the syndrome. You could see how tall he was there, that incredibly long arm span, and he also has super flexible joints. So as they were trying to get to the bottom of Parker's case, the doctors realized Evan has these symptoms. Now, insurance wouldn't cover Parker to be tested for it initially, but because Evan could and then was positive, it led to Parker being tested. And now here he is at 7 years old, able to move through the world more carefully, but
living with it.
Wow, and the timing was so right for that family in every way. Wow. Kaylee, thank you. Happy to have you sitting here on the phone with us.
Appreciate it.
Good to see you, Kaylee.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.